D-Money, how often do you find yourself in a warehouse like this? Having
Not
a conversation about life lessons and everything in between.
Not often at all. But with y'all too, this is a beautiful thing.
Right, man.
This is a beautiful thing. So, we really want to get off into this and just show the people that you really do have the realest podcast out here.
Oh, my man, that's hard to beat right there. Well, with that, we'll start off. Welcome to What Do You Say, Dad, a father-son podcast about life, OCD, and other bullshit. I'm your host, Hunter Sansone. With me, my dad, the one, the only, my co-host, Gregg Sansone. There, flexing on him.
Yes.
That's right, buddy.
And with us, we have the one, the only, Dale.
Yes.
D-Money,
yes,
D-House,
yes.
every nickname in between. He's part of the family.
Yes, indeed.
Welcome to the show, Dale.
Yes.
Give it
Happy
up to
to be
Mr.
here.
D.
It is an honor to be here.
Yes,
that
sir.
is for sure. They finna see. Yes,
sir. So yeah, man, we as we were talking in the beginning about this, what guests we wanted, you were from the start. We were like, Dale. I mean, how do you beat that?
I'm very appreciative of
Yes,
that.
sir.
Yes, because you get it authentic out the gate.
That's what it's about. That's what it's
Yes.
about. So for the listeners, just briefly, you and my dad, how long have you guys known each other?
For sure. I've been at the lot for 11 years. I know for a fact your dad has known me 10 of them.
Wow.
Yes, which is quite some time for me to know anybody.
And how did that happen? How did you guys cross paths?
I was up at the property that your dad owned.
Right,
and I was trying my best to clean up the parking lot, in which I was going very, very hard at. And one particular day, and oh my God, Hunt, I was looking forward to seeing him one day. I just didn't know when.
Right,
and he pulled up. I think he was in a gray Cadillac, if I'm not mistaken. I don't know. I forgot.
Or the Lumina, or the Impala.
Yeah, it probably
Impala.
was the Impala. But boy, the day I seen him, oh man, Hunt, boy, it was over. I felt like the world was on top of my shoulder. I felt the way I feel now when I first seen him. I'm like, oh my God, that's him. That's the man himself.
Oh, that's great,
Yes.
man.
And ever since then, not even ever since then, once he officially met me, he realized the work that I had done. For him to see my work ethic and believe in that is what drove me up a wall.
Right.
Finally had a chance to talk to him. Oh my God. You talk about somebody that know what to say behind everything. He is a real life coach. Like,
Yes,
he
sir.
really coaches people about life.
Yeah, man.
And come to find out, what he was talking about was a reality, because I was able to maneuver, and what we're going to talk about today really turn things around for myself due to your dad actually talking to me and giving me advice. That was a very big step in my little push forward.
That's
Yes,
great, man.
yes.
I mean, because that's what this podcast is all about. I mean, we talk about, going through hard times, overcoming obstacles, challenges, having a good mentor in life. I feel like that's something we'll really talk about today. The importance of having a solid mentor in your life, because at the end of the day, we all want to sit here and say, oh, I did that all on my own, but it is so important to have a good, solid mentor in your life.
Oh,
because
for sure.
I mean, it's, they've been through stuff that you haven't.
Yes.
And so they're able to shed that wisdom from already going through it on their end.
Oh, yeah.
If you're lucky enough, and not everybody wants to be. Not everybody wants to share that wisdom or is generous like that. But
that's true.
Sometimes we're lucky. I've had a few good ones in my life. Family, not family. Sounds like you've had at least one good one in your life.
Oh, that's for sure. He is number one. And it's a couple people that I could kind of say, I would think that they're good people, but nobody is ever going to overshadow yours. You're that. No, that is number one. When people meet me today, I work in a very good area.
Right.
Very established individuals. And I ain't talking about regular established, Hunter. I'm talking about very established people, baby.
Okay.
Really up there with your dad. Really up there.
Okay.
They don't even know, bruh, I can, I already look up to somebody.
Right.
They don't even think that I struggle from the energy that I bring to them.
Yeah.
Everybody thinks that I'm happy all the time. Can you believe that?
That's a choice.
Yes.
That's a choice. Act like that.
And I be thinking about it when people say it. You really think that I am happy 24/7? I ain't saying it
Right.
Like I be having a lot of times where I'm angry because that part of my life is completely over.
Right.
You know, like being angry like that. I just realized that positive energy even makes me pump up, you know,
sir.
like to see people reaction to it is crazy. They be like, "Oh man, like
it's infectious."
Yes,
it's infectious. Well, Dad, so what did you see when you saw Dale? You
exactly what I saw. Yeah, well, I'll tell you what I saw. So when I saw Dale, I'd actually, another fella was working for us, and he was in charge of the lot. And
this was a shopping center that you had owned and operated back in the day.
Yeah. And he was in charge of the lot. And he had I was paying him, and he subbed it out to Dale, which I didn't know about.
Yeah.
And he was paying him much less than he was getting. So he was doing it. So then like 3 days a week, something like that, he subbed it out to you. So I'd come in, and, you know, trash is a very important thing to me. Trash and the perception of crime and graffiti and all of that, what you can see. So I was big on trash. So I come in, and I noticed when I see him on the lot, it just looked better. Everything was cleaner. And then I noticed him moving fast, and he'd see trash, and it was like, man, it had his name on it, and he'd go to it, get rid of that shit.
He was a worker.
Times 10, times 100. And with a smile.
There it is.
And he liked working hard. So I could relate to that because I like it too. And so I'm like, this guy. So 3 days a week I'm seeing this. This other guy was a talker. He was a good talker. But the lot looked like shit, bottom line. No matter what he did, no matter how he talked, it was full of shit, slower than fuck. Not this guy. Anyway, we got to know each other. I said to the lady working, I said, who is this guy? Oh, well, this Dale. I started talking to him. I said, I want him. I want him full time. Because, and we started talking, and he just had a good heart. I knew he had a good heart and a good work ethic. I don't know how you get any better than those two things. A special heart and a phenomenal work ethic, and that was him. So I bonded to him, and I knew he had some problems he was dealing with, some things he was struggling with in his life, and I wanted to help, and we started like that.
What is that? What is that, Dad? I mean, not to like sit here and just try to like ego boost you, but what is that desire in you to want to help? Because you could just go on with the rest of your day, rest of your life, and it's not going to affect you, really, if you don't help someone. So what was that in you, that desire to reach out and help? I mean, I guess that's what it comes down to for you being a coach in general.
Yeah, and that is not an easy answer for that question. It's multifaceted, the answer. What I can say is this. In general, what you're talking about, that I have that desire to do, I'll just go with him, okay, because I'll presence myself with him.
Yeah.
So it was like my heart. That's what it is. My heart was like, this is a good guy. And I never liked injustice. I don't like people getting fucked over. And whether that means by life or by another getting fucked over. And here was a guy that I knew wanted to do better. Mm-hmm. And a lot of things were stacked against him, and he wasn't sure how to do it, but he was sure as fuck trying his best and stumbling a lot and trying, and my heart just went out. It's like, okay, like I give a fuck. It's like when you see somebody that needs help, you know, what happens is if you see somebody that needs help, your heart wants to help.
Yep.
That's all.
It's
all just an emotional. It's an emotional pull.
It's as simple as that.
It's as simple as that.
Yeah, absolutely. No, and it makes complete sense.
Yeah, it was an emotional. It's an emotional pull, and then when I start helping, like he said, it helps me. I become more of that. They say when you teach, you learn twice.
Yes, sir.
And it's true. So then it becomes infectious on that, where I just enjoy doing it. But first, it's just emotional. Like somebody needs help. Fuck, help them. Fucking help them.
And in this case, you didn't realize, but you were gaining a friend for life.
For life.
Oh, for life.
For life.
Yes,
for
sir.
Life.
Feels like it's been longer than 10 years. But we met. It's probably been 10. It's probably been that long.
I said that it was probably 12 because I started.
Yeah.
I said it was probably 12. I'm not all the way sure.
Well, do you know how old you were? Oh, you don't give out your age because you're about 19.
Man, I wish. I'm
That's right.
We all wish.
No, but I think probably about 12.
Yeah, I would think it's probably closer to 12. I was just saying the 10 to be on the safe side.
But it's been very intense in the trenches with each other.
Of course.
He's grown
it's
like
been nothing but a ladder.
This guy's grown like nobody I've ever seen. Nobody I've ever seen.
I remember back in the day, I'd be hanging out at your house and it'd be like 10, 11 o'clock at night. He'd be on the phone with you, talking about life and goals and objectives and wisdom. You don't even want to
know what I thought the first time I seen you.
Boy,
you talk about greatness.
Oh.
It was you. On. I said, "Oh my God, it is Hunt.
Oh my God.
It's him. This is the
Dale,
next thing.
I can't handle it.
Oh my
I can't
God.
handle it. Stop the man.
That's why I get so excited. I'm telling you, Hunt, that first time I seen you was crazy. I'm talking about, boy, you'd have thought authentic.
Yeah.
Boy, you'd have thought I seen a badass bitch. I'm talking about a raw looking female, the way that I was just excited. I'm like, oh my God, it's him. Man. It's Hunt. And you were, I forgot exactly what you were doing, but you were getting along with the people in the neighborhood because your dad had some type of big event. But that was a really good feeling to see you that day. You know, to know what your dad was.
Was it the Easter drive when we were all handing out Easter eggs and stuff like that?
Sure,
there were a lot of events.
Because we did it so many times.
Oh, remember
I forgot which one was the first one I seen you at.
You remember the COVID drive when we were all handing out toilet paper and stuff?
Yes. Man, those were some cool things to do.
You guys were doing so much for the community. I think just for the listeners, for you guys to know, I mean, I'm going to brag on these two right here. My dad had a shopping center, and Dale played many roles of being a crucial component of that business. And
snow removal, trash removal, you name it, everything.
Working.
Clean, whatever there was to do.
And we were just talking about it before the show about how you can always count on Dale to show up when he says he's going to show up, early.
Yes.
And that is such an incredible quality, man. And I think that's a good point to segue into for, how he met you and what you were going through and some of the dark stuff that you were navigating at that time.
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
Actually quite a bit because, mind you, I was coming up from my bottom without even knowing your dad. Like, he seen me raw mentally. Okay, it's all right. We could be truthful. We on the best podcast in the world.
Yes, sir.
Yes. I was smoking weed every day. Every day. Hunt, I was one of those people. A lot of people are going to relate to what I'm finna tell you. It's crazy that I even had these thoughts because we way down the line now.
Right.
Hunt, I was one of them people who couldn't eat without smoking weed. I said, how could I ever eat without smoking weed? Now, here we go. Hunt, why would you have that thought?
Right.
What you mean eat? Just let your stomach start touching your back. I bet you eat an apple. I can't believe it's people out there that come from where I come from that's really with that thought. And that is a real thought that people have.
Yeah.
I'm not going to eat. I'm not going to shower. I ain't finna drive
you
had
a dependence. Dependency.
And, I think that is very crazy that I had that thought process.
Right.
But I'm a lot further along now.
Yes, sir.
But I still find it crazy that I was thinking like that.
Right.
Because eat like you're human. Like you need to go eat.
Right.
That's crazy. Oh my God. Coming from that bottom will have your thinking so messed up. But Hunt, something big that I did want to speak on, something that your dad helped me with. And he had asked me about it twice when he first met me. So actually years had went by, but he did ask me twice. He said, you got any kids? I said, I got one son. Not finna believe what the fuck of course you're gonna believe it. You ain't finna believe what he said after that. He said, Dale, I got one son too. What? What? He said, yes, Hunter. I said, yep, I got one son, Lil Dale. That is my pride and joy. I don't get to see him though, because I'm one of those people who had a baby with a crazy girl, a lot of drama, tension, because I ain't doing well in life. She ain't doing well in life. I'm telling them that I can't see him. Your dad is actually telling me throughout time, Dale, just change the way you're approaching the situation. And one day he said something that I had never thought of a day in my life. He said, I get it, Dale. No, I was telling him how I felt about his mama.
Mm-hmm.
And he said something that possibly changed my whole entire life. I really ain't thought about this in a while. Since we're talking about it, it's here. Right. Said, Dale, what do you do? What is it that you haven't done to get your son?
Mm.
What are you accountable for?
Yeah, a little personal responsibility.
Yes.
Yeah.
And Dale, where was you going wrong at, Dale? Oh, you're right. I don't know how to spend my money correctly. I'm sitting up smoking weed. And a lot of that played a role. And eventually, man, my son not only stayed with me, but he in a good school.
Well,
and he's a good kid.
That's
and
what this is about.
due to that advice. It really is. It really is. It's due to that advice. And one thing that your podcast deserves to hear. Okay, the marijuana thing, this is big because your dad was helping me with it. The key factor that made me quit, it was a key factor. Outside of the advice that your dad was giving me and me wanting to stop it, but I had joined that Fatherhood program. Oh yeah, graduated and everything. I was the person that they chose to speak at the graduation, which is crazy.
Wow.
And I thought that was crazy, all because I knew how to read well. Thought that was very crazy. But, you know.
Oh, that's huge, man.
Yeah, but you learn that a lot of people can't.
But look at that growth. Look at from not being able to have custody of your child to now you've got them, you're with them all the time. You went through a fatherhood program. I mean, that's what what do you say, Dad? That's what this show is about. This show is about sons seeking advice from their fathers, the older generation. They're an example for us, and you are now setting an example for yours.
For sure.
And I want to make an important point to the listeners on this. This is huge, in my opinion, huge, because we all find ourselves in this spot. First, I want to start off by making this statement. Don't ever think whatever situation you're in, you have no impact or control over. That's where you were. You, according to you, there's nothing. It's just the way it is. Just like if it's raining out, there ain't not a damn thing you can do about it. And that's the temptation for all of us to think that. Don't ever think that. Ever. It's wrong, and it's as automatic as your desire to drink water, and it's wrong. You do have an influence. You do have an impact. The point you're missing is you're not taking any responsibility. Your finger is pointed that way instead of this way.
Ooh.
And you stop, even if the other person is wrong. I don't give a shit. You want power? Look at yourself.
You took it out of my mouth.
Yes, sir.
They have no idea how fast life will change once the finger turns around. Oh,
that's it.
It made
that's
all the difference in the world.
Yes, sir.
Like you said, Dale, what are you doing?
Yes.
For you not to be seeing your son. I understand what you're saying about his mama.
Right.
But what are you doing? And
right.
I'm like, you're right.
My dad told me one time, he said, son, how's that deal going on you're working on? And I was like, oh, Dad, this one guy, he's really the make or break the deal, and he is a complete asshole. And I thought my dad was going to be like, oh, I'm sorry to hear that. This guy sounds like a real jerk. And I go, he's a real asshole. My dad looked at me and he goes, he's an asshole, huh? And I said, yeah, he's an asshole. And he goes, turn him into an angel. Turn him into an angel. And it's like, if you want to be successful and fulfilled and happy and content and empowered in your life, you do not have the right to think shitty of other people and waste your energy. You have to think, how can I impact this situation, albeit horrible?
Right.
How can I impact it in a positive way? Finger back. Instead of that, we know that. Forget that shit. This way. How can I impact that in a positive way? Don't ever say, oh, this motherfucker, oh, this God, yeah. It's all energy. Rather say, I wonder, this is a human being. They got needs. They got wants. Remember that? That's what we were talking about. I was like, what does she want? What's her hot button?
Yeah.
What's the problem? If I'm talking to her, what would she say about you?
Right.
And you were like, shit, I never thought about that. I go, well, tell me, what shit would she talk on you?
Right.
I said, okay, that's her reality.
Right.
Think of what your so-called opposition's reality is. And how do you impact that in a positive way? Oh, they don't deserve that. They're no good. It's not about if they deserve it. You want to improve your life?
Exactly. And I know you stand on that.
Then you can't hate people.
You said that years ago.
You can't hate them if you want to improve your life.
Right.
You don't let them abuse you, but you cannot hate them. You commit yourself to their greatness.
Right.
Be a stand for their greatness. You cannot hope bad shit for her.
Right. Right. Right.
I'm not saying you'll be successful at him, but you're not going to get dirt when you shoot for the stars. And you saw what happened.
Yep.
You got your bud as much as you want.
Yes.
And you stop shit talking on her.
On her. And I feel like
blaming internally her.
It flipped all the way around.
It flipped all the way.
I really do hope that she's able to maturely bring herself together.
That's
I really genuinely feel like that. I really want her to try her best.
That desire you have for her is the springboard for your growth.
Oh yeah.
The desire you have for her, what you just described, is a springboard for your growth.
Oh yeah, because it ain't.
You can't get what you don't give.
Wow.
Right.
I really hope our listeners just took in that whole point. That is so massive. It is so big. I
almost forgot we was on the podcast.
I know, right? With overcoming anything in life, that is so big. Relationships, success, family. Instead of always pointing the finger outside of yourself, turn it on you.
Man.
Because that's where true change can take place for both parties.
Yeah. Yeah.
That is so big.
And when your mind does this to you, because I've been here too, mind's a tricky son of a bitch. When your mind does this to you and it says, man, I busted my ass. There's nothing I could have done. There's nothing. Just know this, you're full of shit. Because unless you walk on water and turn water into wine, you can have always done better if you're a human. It's not about who's right, who's wrong. Right. No.
Wasted energy.
It's wasted energy. It's about where can I improve as a human being? Okay. You can always improve as a human being. Why should I? Oh, only if you want to be motherfucking happy and successful.
Right.
No other reason. No other reason. Rest, sir.
Yes,
right here,
sir.
Yes.
That is some knowledge.
And during your podcast, if because like I said, it's very authentic here. If you hear me say on me, that's slang for yes, sir.
Got it.
We got you.
Like
it's an agreement.
Yes.
Yeah. You're with it.
Yes. It's an agreement.
Yes. Yes.
So, oh my God, I love this podcast.
Okay. Give me some good stuff.
I have a question for you.
I'm ready, my friend. Ask away. Ask away.
Because I love you. I gotta hear you give me your response.
Yes, sir. Go for it.
Hunter, have you ever did the financial thing the wrong way? Being raised up under your dad, have you spent too much? Were there times where you overdid it? I wouldn't know, because to me, you're perfect.
Oh, well, I'm far from perfect.
But thank you for the authenticness.
Well, 100%.
I love this podcast. This is the
man,
greatest.
if I'm ever feeling bad about myself, all I got to do is hang out with Dale, and I'll start feeling better very quickly. Yeah, man, listen, I've made more than financial. I've made plenty of mistakes in my life. Yes, I've had incredible mentors in my mother and my father, but still, at the end of the day, I make plenty of mistakes.
100,
far from perfect.
I love it.
But specifically to the financial side of things, what's funny is I've kind of gone on both sides of it. There's been times in my life where I've been a little too extreme with holding on to my cash.
Okay.
And then there's been times in my life where I've been a little bit too loose in certain areas. But ultimately, I feel like I've had a pretty healthy balance. But as far as I'll go to the flip side of it, but as far as holding on to my cash a little bit too tight, there was a long time where I wanted to get my dream car.
Okay.
And it's a simple car. It's what I'm driving. You see it out front. It's nothing crazy, but it's something I've always wanted. And for years, I was able to afford it. But I didn't want to drop that much money on anything, let alone a car, which is something that depreciates in value as time moves on.
Oh, man, I know that.
And so I was just like, I really don't want to spend it. And I remember for the longest time I was on the fence, and I got in a terrible accident. And in my old car, I was in a real bad accident. And the only accident I've been in, I believe, the only serious accident I've been in, I was all right. Everybody was okay.
Okay.
Wasn't my fault. Just to put that out there.
Thank God.
And at that point, I kind of had no choice. And I told my dad, I kept talking about the car that I wanted, kept talking. And he finally goes, Hunter, you've been able to afford the car for like 2 or 3 years, man. Go get the car. Go get what you want.
Afford means buy it 100% with your own cash.
Right.
You had that.
Yes.
I love it.
Yes. No, I bought it in full. No lease, none of that. No payments. I just bought it in full. Yes. And so at that point, I feel like I was just being a little, because it was the first time in my life I was starting to make some money, and I was like, I don't want to hold on. I was a little too tight. So there's an extreme in that sense. But then there's been areas in my life with dinners and drinks and going out and stuff like that, where I've been a little too free with my cash.
Love your answer.
Well, thank you, man. It's a little bit of both, but ultimately, I've had a really good mentor in my dad when it comes to finances. So
I know.
So all in all,
that's why I had to ask you.
I feel like it's a pretty healthy middle ground.
I said, let me see if he would play it off on his old podcast and tell me that no, dear, everything's okay. I don't spend $1 over. Oh, okay.
Hunter, to that, and then I want to hear about your finance because I know you got a lot to share on that for the listeners, which is powerful with this guy.
Yeah.
But Hunter, can you share a little bit about when in Los Angeles with your career and you were living in that apartment and you moved up to the next level? What I was telling and the whole thinking behind that.
Yeah, no, that was a key point. So when I first moved out to LA to pursue a career as an actor, this was back in 2014. I first had a good friend of mine talk about mentors. This was one of my first mentors outside of my family, Paul Ray. His name's Paul Ray. He's an incredible guy, very successful actor out in Los Angeles. He's been in the business for as long as I've been alive.
Good man.
Great man. And he was my first friend I met out in LA, and he took me under his wing and he let me crash on his couch for I think it was maybe 6 months when I first moved to LA while I was getting jobs, part-time jobs, finding my footing, getting into an acting class, agents, all of that stuff. And Paul took me in. And I remember when I first got out there, I didn't have any money really. I had like a few $1,000 from working summer jobs growing up. And I went and got a very cheap apartment. My dad was helping out a little bit at this point. And it was a very cheap studio apartment, nothing crazy. Yeah. And I was living there for a few years, and then some crime started happening way too close to home. There was one night where I was sleeping inside my apartment, and I woke up the next morning to an explosion right outside of my window, and it was the SWAT team going through my courtyard because a dude the night before had attacked a man with an axe, and the guy who attacked the guy was hiding out in the abandoned apartment in my courtyard.
So the
SWAT that you could look at out your window.
I could look out my window.
Right.
So I wake up and there's an explosion out my window, and it's a flash grenade.
Yes, and them things.
Flashbang grenade, yeah. And it's a SWAT team, and I look out my window, and the SWAT officer looks over at me, and he just goes like this. And it's terrifying.
After you wake up from an explosion sound.
Right. At that point, I was like, all right, I think it's time to move. So I then went and I was apartment hunting. My dad was helping me, and we found another apartment, and it was almost 50% more than what I was paying. And it was a lot for me. That was
double.
It was double. Okay, maybe it was double. It was a big jump. And I told my dad, I was like, listen, I don't think I can afford this right now. And he made such a good point to me. Sometimes you need to level up in certain areas, maybe a certain car you drive or an apartment you live in or the space you create for yourself or an area you live. You need to stretch your comfort zone when it comes to that, maybe financially or whatever it is, in order to level up. Because the idea is, at that point, when I was living in this space that I had to pay that much more for, I knew in my mind, all right, I got to start really delivering here if I'm going to be able to afford this place. I got to show up for myself. And funny enough, right after I moved into that place, maybe, I don't know, 6 months later, a year later, tops, I booked Stargirl, which was
your break.
My break, that first TV show that I was on, and that changed my life. Financially, career-wise, it did all the things. And I was living in that apartment because it did light a fire under my ass.
Yep.
When I moved into that apartment and I started having a much higher rent bill, I was like, fuck, man.
Yeah.
If I'm going to be able to stay in here, I gotta do something.
I believe in what you just said, working.
Yeah.
I feel like you do. Now, I never thought about it like that. Like Mr. G told you, sometimes you got to go outside your comfort zone in order to elevate. I do agree with that because I've seen it said before. And I'm like, right. Because if you know that you got to come up off that kind of money, you're not finna sit around and act like you got to go to Burger King every day. You're going to get up and make sure that you got to go get the money that you got to get.
Exactly. And the thing about it is, what happens is that when you do that, when you make yourself a little nervous on a move where you move up in a quality, in your standard of living, your quality of living, your quality, I call it quality of living. Not, this ain't ego. This isn't ego. This is quality of living. Nicer environment, if you will, okay? Where you're just like, oh, this is nice. Like, and this is nicer for me than that was.
Right.
So what happens when you do that? A couple things. One, you're going to be around, for the most part, more quality people.
For sure.
Okay? Number two, your environment and surroundings are going to be quality and nicer.
Yep.
So all of a sudden, if you've heard it, you are your environment. Don't think you can be different than your environment. You are affected by who you hang with. You are affected by where you hang in. So when you change that environment, it changes you.
Yes.
You know, I always remember you telling me that.
And you don't want to lose it once you got it because you like it.
Right.
So now you're going to sleep 5 hours instead of 7
Yep.
and work 2 more because you like the son of a bitch you're in.
I remember you always telling me that as a kid. You were always concerned about the people I was surrounding myself with. Growing up in high school, grade school, you know, you are who you hang with. Surrounding yourself around the right people. And I feel like I had issues with that at points in my life growing up. I know there were certain people.
You were honest though. You go, Dad, I can handle it. You really thought you could.
Yeah, you think you can. You think you can. And yeah, so I mean, it's not easy. I mean, and Dale, you were telling us before the show, you had growing up, you were in some rough environments.
Man, it just feels good to hear you speak your truth.
Yeah, man. Thank you.
And I've never heard you speak your truth yet.
Oh, well, man, this is what this conversation's for.
You done motivated the hell out of me, man.
Well, I think your story may motivate a little bit more than mine, but I appreciate that.
Your boy know what you mean. That's for real, because there are people that come from where I come from that give me nothing but props because my story is a little bit deeper than theirs. That's what I meant to tell you. You really got the truth on her. My respect goes through the roof of people that come from where I come from, but that still keep it real with me like, Dale, listen, you really beat the odds on your end. I'm not just anybody, Hunt. I've really hurt people. Very, very bad. Very bad. I've had homeboys who were killed. Yes, I have went and did things because they were killed. So these are people that I loved.
Yeah.
People I was with every day.
Yeah.
You kill them and they gone. Of course, when you're young and the streets are teaching you, that's what you do mentally because you're dependent on your homeboys for your happiness, you know? But that's where having a dad plays its part in the Black community, you know? The reason why it's so messed up is because everybody do the old street stuff, go to jail or end up dead, and those kids are left to fend for the streets. And I'm talking about, man, it's just an ever going little cycle, ever going cycle. And me personally, I decided the door completely stopped at me. No, this is what we're not finna do. My son, thinking that he finna put on like a rag and think that he's finna gangbang. Boy, I'm finna put him in a headlock for 3 days.
Right.
Like, boy, you finna be bad when your dad get done with you.
Yes,
boy,
sir.
We work too hard to, see you go through that crazy. But make a long story short, I got a good kid. Dale is really a good kid.
That's incredible, man.
Like, I know for a fact that I'm doing my job. I know. It's certain things you look for in a young,
you can
kid,
tell if they're developing and growing up right.
You know, I don't mind them growing up in certain little areas, but in certain areas I'm just not playing about because I've been there. And we ain't finna sit up and act like your dad ain't coming home asking you, do you got homework every day? No, we not finna do that. No, you get to come in at a certain time. I'll make sure that I'm there for you, buy your things, make sure that I'm there for you. Really, really there. And I will allow you a little bit of your freedom, because I understand how the boy and girl thing work. Yes, I want a girl, but boys, you just want to give them their freedom. That's really what they look for. Girls is who you spoil. That's just the way it works with the kids. Guys, we really want our freedom. Like my mama. My mama allowed me to do whatever I wanted to do. That's why I turned out to be so bad. But as life went forward, look how God blessed me. Not only do I have 12 homeboys from the west side of St. Louis gone, 12. Wow. I have been to 9 funerals.
Wow.
Real tears coming out my eyes, and I don't even believe in crying.
And is this from gang life?
Nothing but gang life.
So you were a part of that?
For sure. Your boy not to be played with. That's because I was mentally really messed up over that stuff. I really, really was. And ain't nothing like somebody coming to you telling you that they need you to do something. It boosts the ego through the roof. You like, oh, so you ain't got the heart to do it? What?
Yeah.
Here I come.
Yeah.
Right.
And then people like, whoa, he really did it.
So what was, I mean, I feel like you already touched on it. What was the biggest key for you breaking out of that lifestyle? Was it you having a son? Was it you having little Dale? Is that what changed?
I'm retired. I never left. I just left the streets alone. No longer active. I'm retired. I still got my stripes. I'm going to tell you what I mean by that and why this is so raw on your podcast. We stay in St. Louis, Missouri. There's no such thing as having stripes because the little dudes don't care. They'll kill you quick. You really can't put that out there like that. Guess what? Your boy could put that out there like that because people respect real. I know how to talk to people. I'm not active, but I know how to talk to people. And it's people that's really still alive that know me. So ain't nothing like people that really know you, because then all people got to go do is do their homework. When I worked up there at the shopping mall where your dad owned, like, this is real talk. He don't even know this. But people was peeping me. Like, who is he? Because he always to himself. And you know one thing I wasn't worried about? Like, as soon as they figure out who I am, they just gonna go do their homework. I ain't tripping. You know what I'm saying? I'm not tripping off of nothing. But this is one thing that I done learned about being at that lot so many years. Oh, wait till somebody find out he's tough. They gonna send somebody up there to bother you.
Right.
So I done sat up there and went through so much on that lot that it helped me grow.
Right.
I'm like, man, Mr. G can't find out that, you know, I'm giving these people back their trash. He gonna kill me if he find out that I'm giving them back their trash. Yes, Hunt. It is people that pulled up and threw bags out the window. So you know what I did? I picked that bag up and I followed them to wherever they parked at and I threw it back in their car. You're not finna do that while I'm sitting right here with a broom and dustpan. It's hella trash cans out here. No, you're not finna do that. That's what we not finna do. You know, no.
Wow.
No, just because I got this broom and dustpan and you see me going hard at it, because, you know, I love working hard.
Right.
Not finna do me. No, you know, because people just trying to be funny. They ain't even intending to really throw the trash out. They're just doing it trying to be funny. But that helped me. You know why it helped me? Because I had to grow out of that on my own. You know, I had to realize, like, you cannot lose this job. Eat it.
Yes, sir.
Eat it. And it kept happening. It kept happening. So eventually I just got tired. And I ain't paying no more mind. That's crazy. I just told you that because that's me thinking about it from the outside.
Yeah.
Now that it's over.
Right.
I had to eat that because there was no way that he was gonna find out that I'm down here. It'll sound like I'm starting problems. Like, damn, hold on, I'm paying you to pick up the trash now. You can't, you know, be tripping off everybody throwing down the trash.
Listen, I'm not going to speak for anybody else, but part of me respects that. You know, you're giving them back their trash. You're dumping trash on my lot. All right, here you go. Take it right back.
And then you're trying to be funny, you know, with it. You know, that's what hurt your boy.
Absolutely.
Because you see me going hard with this broom and dustpan. They already not used to people being productive.
Right.
So imagine somebody seriously taking their job serious.
Well, let me real quick circle back to Little Dale. Okay. Was Little Dale one of, if not the key factor of you breaking into a new healthy lifestyle?
Man, it's almost like a hard question.
It is a hard question.
Listen, man, if you don't know the answer, it's also fine.
Because when you're somebody, it's never easy for you to just walk away. You are him. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
People respect you. So you're not finna just walk away from that. You know, people see me now and like people be joking about it. But I know deep down it'd be like a little side joke. But they be like, look at this nigga, he done got soft. And they right. Because you know what happens, Hunt? After you get ready to slowly lean away from that, you lose the urge to hurt people. You lose the urge to want to kill. You lose the urge to want to hate people. You losing it as you're trying to grow. So here we go. You make it to a point where, oh man, I'm finna fuck your head up, Hunt. Because this go out to every gangster in the world. And I mean this from the bottom of my heart. This coming from a real one. Here we go, Hunt. You lose that urge. You do. You lose it because you gaining momentum. You trying to learn how to read books more, comprehend things better, learn how to make more positive decisions. You're losing it from what you done did in the streets. Here we go. This is why I tell people, you ain't ready to be on the level that I'm on. You know why? Because if you a gangster and you really, really want to get your life together, this is raw, Hunt. What I'm finna tell you, this is raw. And every G in the world, raw. You gotta prove that you can be a bitch ass nigga. Oh yeah. Somebody gotta disrespect you and you gotta eat it. It's the only way to prove to yourself that you really growing. It's not easy to do, baby. Not easy to do.
That's everything right there, man. When you're able to get to a point to eat it and take shit for your higher self, oh man.
That's the problem with gang members. You know why we out? Not we. Do you know why people die? Do you know why people hurt people? We all got that little pride. It's all in the pride. Mm-hmm. One thing I learned later on down in life. Do you know growing up in the hood, you hate cops? Nobody ever stopped to think, why? You know why? Because with no dad in the house, you never really find out what authority is. So when you do initially see that cops are authority, you go against the grain. Because you like, ooh, what? I don't listen to nobody.
Damn.
Ain't nobody finna handcuff me and chain me down. Well, what if you're doing a crime?
Yeah. Man, you're
saying because there's no father.
Yes.
So you don't.
No discipline.
So that's brand new. It's like, what
yes.
Get the fuck out of here.
You don't have anything that you respect before you even get a chance to see a cop.
Wow.
You know? So when you see one, you like, this weak ass dude, got these fucking handcuffs on. What do you think he finna do with his little gun? You see? That's the mentality because you already don't respect authority. You don't have a dad. You doing what you want to do.
Man.
You walk around sagging. You know, I've been through it all. And I really wanted to say that on your podcast.
Well.
And I hope that helps somebody.
I think it.
Damn right
it will, man. I mean, that is so raw and unfiltered, and we really appreciate you sharing that. And that is the type of shit that will help people. Because that's not always the stuff that people want to talk about,
right?
And you're sharing your truth. You're sharing your truth and what you've been through and your experience. So
sure.
We appreciate that.
This is as real as it get, Hunt.
Well, look at you now, man. You turned your shit around so fast. You're living life. Dale, how would you streamline for our listeners what you're doing right now? That you are this upstanding citizen. You don't have to go into too many details, but give us the positive highlights in life. You know, we love diving into the obstacles and how we get through them, but we also love talking about the wins
but it was the beginning.
And where we are now. So, you know, tell us some good stuff.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah, what do you got going right now, my man?
Mr. G pointed out a very key thing to me that helped me move forward. It's the thinking. You don't think that you can change it. You can. I can't answer that how right now because I don't remember exactly, but just take the advice that people give you and just get ready to use it in a positive way. You know, but I do have positives going on.
Yes, sir.
I actually got 2 jobs now, and I'm a trash man at both of my jobs, but I take a lot of pride in getting trash up. I really like cleaning up atmospheres that need that. And I teach a CDL class, and I take a lot of pride in teaching people. I love seeing people go from not knowing nothing to knowing everything about the engine. It actually makes me geeked up to see people go for that CDL. Because that is something critical to help people grow.
Right.
People really get happy once they get their CDL, and I'm happy for them.
So you have your CDL. You do this. You make the community a better place to live every single day. You have your CDL, and you not only have it, but they've chosen you to teach others. Why would they choose you to teach others?
Oh, it's the attitude.
It's because you're kick-ass.
Yes. You can't sit up there and sound like you read a book every time. You got to learn how to really do this. And, you know, but we learn as we go. You know, I just get better per person. Like your dad gets better by seeing results from people that he's helping. It, like he said, it turns him up. Like, wow, he's listening. You know, boom. Okay, it turns him up. He's like, okay, it's really good. It's getting really good. That same thing with me with my CDL class. Once I see how happy somebody get, you know, it makes me pretty happy.
Now, you mentioned before about how your customers appreciate you and the relationship you have with your customers. What happens when you show up? You mentioned about the kids and the adults and the...
I mean, this is a beautiful thing to me. This gets me at heart. Yeah, this the soft side, baby. This the soft side. But kids can't wait to see me. Call me by name. I'm talking about even before the parents come out. Tate is outside like, hey, Dell. So, you know, that it just does something to me.
Sure it does.
To know that they looking forward to seeing me on trash day is crazy. You know, crazy. Because I didn't even think the trash man could be that exciting. But I turned it into a hell of an experience for them. Just off the strength of them wanting to see me. Like, that's crazy to me.
Look at that.
Like, I be wanting Lil Dale to be that happy when I come in for work.
Well, my man, listen,
no, he like, I'm 17. I'm gonna say what's up and give you a hug, but we ain't finna do all that. Man, but
listen, man, honestly, that right there, I feel like that's so important for everybody to hear. That is, everybody talks about making the world a better place.
Yes.
Changing shit. Yes. And as cliche as it is, it all starts with us. It starts with what we do in our day-to-day life. And you being a positive influence on kids like that, when you're just working your day job, they're going to feel better about themselves. They're going to see some upstanding guy doing his thing, living positively, and ultimately that's going to influence them. You know? It's going to influence them, man, and you're going to change all of their lives for the better.
Yes.
And that's what it's about. That's what it's about, man.
Crazy little, real quick. It's crazy, man. One day, I was talking to your dad. He said the craziest thing in the world to me.
What'd he say, D?
Now, this was at that time. This was the craziest thing in the world. He said, Dale, you could change the world. Do you know what my response was? I said, how the fuck am I supposed to do that? I'm only one person. I was dead serious at that time.
What'd he say back to you? Do you remember?
No, I don't. But the results are, here we are years down the line, the results are, I am changing the world one person at a time. Hey,
yes, sir.
That's a deep thing to me.
You're hearing that live on What Do You Say, Dad, baby?
That is live, and that's very authentic.
Yes,
sir.
I
just want to say that. I mean, everything we doing on here is authentic. It's the best podcast in the world, baby. But, yes, that was very big for me. Because I remember how serious I was. I was just almost as serious with the marijuana thing. Yeah, I was serious when he said that. He said, Dale, you can change the world. I said, how the fuck am I supposed to do that? I'm one person. I thought about going to China at that very moment. I'm like going to Africa. I'm like, how the fuck am I supposed to do that? Man, and it's just crazy
it all starts at home.
Yes.
It all starts at home.
It's just crazy how life has really flipped the script. I've actually told him that since then, like, you're right. Like, I'm really changing the world one person at a time. Like,
that's what it is.
And you said you've got like, and then it starts to grow and multiply and gets legs and momentum. Yep. Like you said, you got like 50 kids or something that are crazy to see you when you come out. And they'll bring you cookies and shit.
All 5 days.
Right.
These are
and the adults too, you telling me. They love seeing you.
Love me.
Love you. And that's how I feel. And they love you. They love you, and the reason I'm just gonna take a shot at it because I've known you forever, and the reason I love you, you are willing to put forth the effort of the effort. You'll put forth that effort, and you got a special heart, and you are strong enough to not try to act like a badass. You are strong enough to present and engage in a heartfelt manner. To all the men out there, white, black, whatever we are, be strong enough, otherwise you're not strong, to engage with your world in a heartfelt manner. That's what you do.
Yes.
That's what they love.
In our reality, yes.
That's it.
Yep.
You engage in a heartfelt manner. It's a childlike caring, which is beautiful.
To me, it almost translates to you lead with love. Right. When you lead with love, you're gonna get it back.
Oh yes.
And when you don't lead with love, you're probably also gonna get that back.
Sure.
Probably also gonna get that in return.
All right, I told your dad this,
Yes,
this
sir.
is my first time telling you this.
Yeah.
Hunt, do you know that I've met people in my life? Now, Hunt, I say this to white and black people, okay? I want you to know that before I tell you.
Yes, sir.
Hunt, I've met racist people before. Both black and white.
Right.
Your boy kills them, you hear me? I kill him, Hunt. I kill him. Because after I talk to them and I realize they racist,
Yeah.
I be like, ooh, that's crazy. So you don't like somebody because of the color of their skin? And they be like, yeah, I can't stand that. I was like, okay, well, what if they say something that you like? What you supposed to do then? Like, are you supposed to stay mad? You tell me. You know what I'm saying? Because if you ain't somebody before you ever talk to them, that's fine and dandy.
They picked the wrong dude to talk to.
Oh, yes, complete hut. I be saying it to myself. I be like, oh, you done ran into the wrong motherfucker today because you are so closed-minded. I need to open you up.
And you just said something that was really key. I've never heard it put that way, is that if you hate somebody because of their color of their skin, quote unquote, as you just stated, what do you do when they say something you like?
Yeah, like straight out the gate. What if they say something that you straight like and you just like what the fuck do you do? Do you stay mad?
Well, at that point, you're just bullshitting yourself because you're just trying to.
Because that's all you're going to be.
Right. Oh, no, you're good.
That's all you're going to be doing. If they say something that you know that'll make you smile, like let's just say you like, and they walk up to you and they just say something that clicks in you. Yeah. What you supposed to do? You supposed to sit there and bullshit yourself for the next 10 seconds like, That's right. Like, you can tell that, you know what I'm saying? Like, come on, man. Like, oh, man, boy, your boy love running into people like that because I kill him with that, man.
That's beautiful.
I kill him. Because they expect your boy to come off a different way because of the tats.
Yeah. Right.
You know, everybody be thinking it's normal, huh? They be like, oh, yeah, what's up, kid? And I be like, well, hello.
Right, right, yeah.
Killing them. They like, what?
Yeah, you
got on.
You're past that, man.
You will
completely.
You know, you will change the world, and you are.
But you know, Hunt, I've been through a lot.
Yeah.
When you've been through a lot, you can get past it. If you are one of them guys who knew somebody like me, you always gonna act tough because that's the persona that you want. And it's a little deeper than what I just told you. I can't really explain it, but it's a little deeper when you're not him. And you're one of them guys who like, you know, if somebody fighting, you one of the guys who run in and throw a punch, but then you run back out, you know?
Right.
You're not the guy fighting.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? You ain't never gonna stop acting tough.
Right.
Because that's what you want. You know, you gotta have it, you know? That's why I was able to speak on your podcast today, because I have put out here is very real.
Listen,
like, it's so real, I'm scared. You know what I'm saying? Like, this is going
man. I mean, listen,
turn into something big.
The life you've lived and the life you are now living is only going to help people. You know, you're already doing it, and the listeners are only going to benefit from you sharing what you've shared, man, because that is life. Yes. And life is not clean. Life is not perfect.
Right.
Very rarely does anybody have a smooth start.
Right.
And man, you are a shining example of what it means to go through really tough, fucked up shit that I couldn't even fathom on my own end, and come out of it and live the life you're living, man. So we appreciate you sharing that.
For sure. And your boy really has like overcame quite a few things. In order to become the perfect dad, I try to be what I needed.
Wow.
And I think that plays a role in why I'm becoming such a great dad. When I'm tired, I be thinking to myself like, nah, you needed somebody to go knock on the door like, hey, son, did you complete the homework?
Yeah. There you go.
Versus somebody just leaving you alone and you doing what you want to do. You know?
Exactly.
Wow. You know, you just being what you needed. And I feel like that'll help a lot of fathers.
I hope everybody just took that in. I try to be what I needed. And man, that carries across in so many different areas of life, but especially in fatherhood.
Yeah.
One thing, it takes self-awareness, willing to be self-aware to admit to yourself what you needed.
Yes.
Otherwise, you don't even know what you needed. It takes vulnerability to be able to be honest with yourself and say, I needed this. A lot of people don't even know they needed what they needed. Be honest with your heart and then go try to be that, like our phenomenal, amazing, beautiful guest is doing.
Dale, that is so huge, man. Thank you.
Wow.
I feel like that is a perfect place to wrap up the show. I don't know how you get any better than that, my man.
And thank you for having me on
No, thank you
today,
for coming out and being so vulnerable and honest and open about your past and your present. And
won't nobody ever get this. I'm not.
No,
I don't care what they offer. Nobody ever
Yes,
get this again. Only you.
And listen, you've already accomplished so much in your life. You're doing so many amazing things for the community. But I think the biggest highlight of you is the dad that you are and the father you are, because listen, man, I mean, I feel like that's the greatest gift you can give your son is being an incredible dad. And that is what you are, man. And you are the perfect example of the type of guest that we want on this show. Somebody who's been through stuff and has bettered their life, turned their life around, and happens to be also an incredible dad. Yes. You know, because I've got one myself. So,
yes, indeed.
Wow, thank you. And what makes you set apart is the effort you are willing to put into every waking day that you're alive. Yep. The effort you're willing to do, whether it's with your son, whether it's with the customers you deal with every day that love you and your son that loves you, whatever, you put the effort in. That's what it's about. And he does that.
Yes.
You ain't lazy, buddy.
Nah, you can't be lazy and you want to change. It's not going to work. And Hunt, I am thankful, and I mean this, Hunt. I don't give a fuck if you see me every day for the rest of your life. I'm very, very grateful for you speaking to me in that authentic way today. I have been waiting to have one. We can't have this conversation in front of just, you know what I'm saying? Like people don't deserve to kind of like hear that. You know, like
no, man, and thank you for giving that same energy back to me.
Because you mean hellish to me, man.
Oh, right back. I mean, you mean the world to me, my
God,
brother.
Hunt, I'm not playing about you. I told you a long time ago, I said, boy, if you ever had an issue, I'd beat the fuck out of somebody. I'm talking about Hunt, you have no idea.
I know you would.
You're going to be like, because I know, Hunt, you don't really like that commotion in there. I know you don't. Your boy don't either. But if I seen you ever worried about something like that, boy, you're going to be like,
no, thank you, man.
God damn, like, it's okay on me, boy, because I know I would never want you to see somebody almost die.
You got to come back on this. We got to have him.
We got to have you back, man.
Sure.
I feel like the listeners in the audience is going to eat you up. They're going to be like, we want Dale back. We want Dale. Listen,
man. Be like,
is that man
married? Is he married?
Man.
Well, Dale, thank you, my guy. Everybody, thank you for listening to another episode of What Do You Say, Dad? This one speaks for itself. Woo. I feel like everybody's gonna, grow and benefit from hearing your story. And thanks again for coming out, my guy.
Should I show him the pipes?
Show him the pipes. See, what is that, Dale? It looks like a broken chicken wing.
Not a broken chicken.
It looks like a broken, it looks like you just
chicken wing.
I mean,
it's my signature move.
Dale, should we join him? 3, 2, 1, broken chicken wing. All right.